No, no, I'm looking. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got it ready. We're doing what you call a controlled letdown. Now I gotta do some controlled cribbing. I got a pretty nice area over at my mama's to work on these things. Shop at my house is slap full of stuff that ain't worth anything, but I ain't got time to clean it out. So, speed over works. How about that? Got the plugs out. I've been soaking it for a few days, so I'm gonna keep soaking another few days. I just want to get them out of the weather. Expecting some rain pretty soon, so. What do you need a spinner knob for when you got these cool little divots? Just put the palm of your hand in that sucker right there and wheel this dude wherever you want to. So I've been walking by this thing every day for a few days now. Just filling them cylinder heads back up with oil and whatnot. Got the battery out of it. Started trying to turn it over a little bit. June of '01. So, say the battery lasted 4 years. We're gonna call that a 20-year-old dormant period for this car, at least. The 35 doesn't have any battery in it, so I have no way of knowing what we're dealing with there. So I'm gonna keep messing with it. I got my 6-volt battery back up to 6 volts. I didn't want to put 12 volts on it. I don't want to burn anything up. Trying to do this as safe as possible. But if you can see from here to here is a rust line on that belt where it's around that water pump. That's how far I've moved it. Or how far it's moved itself. The Ford on the belt was up behind. I didn't notice it before until now. Might have to get some radiator hoses. But anyway, we're making progress all the time. This is a 3 or 4 day process here. Alright, so I had to give it just a little shot of 12 volt to make it ring over. But we got it. I had put a 6-volt battery in it, trying to keep from tearing something up. Anyway, I got fed up, impatient. Grandpa was impatient. I went ahead and pulled the distributor off of it. I just pulled that apart. Apparently, from reading on the internet, when you pull this distributor off, these caps are supposed to come off with the wire looms for the spark plug wires. They're supposed to stay. but they didn't. These, I'm gonna call them a rotor cap. Pulled the coil off and was able to get in from the inside with a small punch and a brass hammer. Not that it being brass makes a difference, but anyway, I got in this hole right here in the top from the inside, and there's two little light taps and it come right off of there. Both of them. There's a lineup pin, like a dog or whatever on the inside there, where you can't put it back wrong. They're offset, so you can only put them in 180 one direction or another, and there's a lineup pin, so you're good there. I don't know much or anything, never even touched one of these before, so I don't know anything about what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. Got my vacuum line for my vacuum brake. Made sure it was nice and cleaned out. So anyway, I'm fixing to stick that distributor back on there and rig up a nurse tank with some gas. Hook up my plugs, put my plug wires in. Hook up my plug wires, put my plugs in. And I'm just gonna see what it does. I bet it won't start, but we're gonna try it. Be optimistic. And then the next one is that one. So don't do what I've done. I put the distributor back on all in one piece. These rotor caps stuck in the distributor when I took it apart to begin with. So I've had to disassemble the thing. They're kind of sticky in there. They don't want to just come in and out. So I've had to remove the coil again and take my little punch and hammer and knock these rotor caps back out very gently. They're just a little bit too tight to get in and out, just, you know, pulling them in and out by hand. So I've got to put them back, and anyway, so I'm gonna have to stick them back in this wire loom and everything, and get my plug wires depressed all the way down in the holes like they're supposed to be. And before anybody comes at me about gaskets and whatnot, if I get this sucker running halfway decent, I'll tear all this back apart and put gaskets. So I've never been able to achieve consistent spark. It's just every now and then I'll get a blue flame on one cylinder after 7 or 8 revolutions, you know, run the battery down trying to get a good spark. Anyway, not sure about that coil or condenser. I got power going to them, so anyway, I got 2 of these cars to mess with, so I kind of halfway did it. I got me a 6-volt Petronics coil, and I got the new coil adapter kit. So I'm gonna try to wire that up. It comes with a condenser and everything. It's not original and I don't like that, but I'm gonna do what I can do. All right, well, I installed the Petronics. I don't even know if this is Petronics or if this is just a Chinese. It didn't say it was Petronics. I think to be honest with you, I think it had Dennis Carpenter. Yeah, it's Dennis Carpenter. I bought it through Speedway, but it came with a Dennis Carpenter little instruction manual. I don't like this. I'm not all that impressed with it. It says mount the condenser to the plate, but the holes that are in the condenser are too small to mount. The screw is bigger than the holes in the condenser. Little bracket on the condenser. So little stuff like that I'm not all that impressed with. And of course I got one of them Petronics coils that everybody raves about, all these hot rodders rave about. That darn thing's made in China. So what's the point in that? You know? Anyway, I'm going back through resanding these points. I said all that to say this, that I have gotten nowhere. I've got fire going through my coil. I can ground my coil wire out on the cylinder head and I got fire that away, but that's it. I'm getting fire to my points, but not out. Not past my points. So going through this again, checking all my connections, sanding everything, looking at everything again. These rotor caps don't look all that great. These rotor caps fit so tight inside this housing. Anyway, they fit so tight inside this housing, they stay stuck in the housing when you pull the wire looms off. I don't know if everybody's got that problem or not, but this one here, this distributor is labeled a 40B. So I believe that is a stock distributor for this car. Probably the original damn distributor that came in this thing. Anyway, I'm going to put all that back together. That's your vacuum brake pad. The only timing adjustment that this distributor has on it is right here. A little bit. From what I understand, I'm sure there's some. I think you set all your timing within the dwell on these 2 points. 2 sets of points. But anyway, I did have a little low voltage, low amperage issue. Thought I had maybe had a kind of a screwy battery. I went through there and cleaned all my connections real good. I got a starter button that's awful tight. But between the starter button and maybe a loose connection, and I added me another ground wire coming from the back of that bell housing down to the frame, and I sanded off all of the painted areas on the frame. Anyway, still plugging at it. So in my many times that I've taken this distributor on and off, you hear people talk about the offset key, or key that's bigger on one side, smaller on the other. I've heard it called a couple different things. I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about, because to be honest with you, I haven't seen it. It's not that much of an offset. Yeah, like use a micrometer, or can't set a caliper, slide calipers, you might find it. But anyway, they say the distributor will not bolt up easily if it's off. So what I've been doing is I've been just barely starting all 3 bolts. Got one underneath that vacuum brake. Barely start all 3 of your bolts. Have your distributor loose here. And you can see the front of the timing cover, see the slot in it, and you turn your rotor to kind of somewhat match that slot. So you got a 50-50 shot of having it right. Like I say, it's not hard. It's not much difference. But they say don't force it. So anyway, I got my rotor, so I just well, my rotor's off. I'm 90 degrees out right now. I don't know if you can tell. Now there's the rotor. Alright. So I'm pulling up and pushing down on that rotor focus. I'm in it. Anyway, you can kind of get what I was trying to say there. It's a little bit easier if you get your bolts started. Don't snug them. They say that's the quickest way to bust one of these distributor housings up is to put that sucker on 180 out and crank it down thinking it's gonna pop in or something. I haven't witnessed that. I haven't ever put it on and thought, yeah, I could probably make it fit. Like, it's either not there or it's there. I don't know how people kind of mess it up, you know, but anyway. I talked about this before. This is kind of a one-way deal. It's got line-up pins. I know that what I just did right there probably ain't. So I got some slack right there. And that's due to me not having any gaskets. But them wires are stuck up in them holes. Unless I'm getting too much clearance in between my rotor and the rotor cap. There's supposed to be some gaskets that go right here. There's one. There's part of one right there. I'm waiting on Dennis Carpenter Shipping. If you work with the shipping department at Dennis Carpenter, I'd appreciate it if you would hurry up. I've got a distributor gasket set on the way. You see? And I'm just guessing that those two there were on the bottom and these two were on the top. And there's a line-up pin right there. And I guess you could put this in too. Well, I just noticed that other one. Huh. Either way, I don't care. I just need to get a little bit of fire. Even if it is upside down. Dang it. Oh no, here's the line. That's what it was. There's only one line-up pin on this side that goes in the distributor body. See that? So. And I'm just judging by how these wires are bent and the amount of wire that is sticking out of the tube as to where they go. All a crapshoot. Which is why it takes me weeks and months to get anything done. All these videos of these cars, mainly this 34, all these videos have been shot over like a 3-week period. what's next? Coil wire and that little bitty finicky nut that's probably metric. Let me find that little bitty. This little bitty nut and this wire. Oh man, condenser always wants to fall. Do condensers need to be grounded? I don't think so. Maybe. I was getting fire earlier without it grounded, obviously. I don't know. Let's see. As you can see, this Leatherman comes in pretty handy. I got no idea what size nut this is. I can tell you, if I do get this thing to start, or even really make fire much, I will put the original coil back on it and see what it does. Oh no, generator wire there is hot. Should that always be hot? I don't know. Get me this vacuum brake line is kind of weird. Don't want to spin real good on the tube. Okay, and I have no idea. I do not understand that concept at all. It's probably not meant for me to understand. Okay. Got my coil wire hooked up. Uh-oh. Let's go ahead. All right. Fixing to make some contact. I don't think I need that generator hooked up. I've got somewhere in the back of my mind, you gotta have your generator hooked up. And that's something to do with amp gauge and everything, and the ignition on a Model A. Okay, I'm gonna flip that ignition on. And this starter button is really hard. Okay, I might need two hands here, and I have a tripod, but I refuse to pull it out and use it. I don't know why. Let me get, oh, there's some Knipex. Some chicken lips. I work with an old boy that calls them chicken lips. Let me work on that. I'll report back. First question, does a coil have, oh, I'm sorry, not does a coil, does a condenser have to be grounded? I have got the faintest of faintest blue spark. If I rub that eyelet up and down that head nut, head bolt, head stud nut, whatever, I get the faintest of faintest blue sparks. But let's see if I can do it here. saw that. Okay. Now, that is a crappy spark. Which that down there don't even matter anymore. I got it. Well, I guess I'm going through the condenser. Yeah. I got negative coming from my ignition, which this wire looks really good. I got positive going to tug test. Positive going to my adapter plate, and then I got my condenser. What am I missing? Why don't I have more spark? Check the connection on this coil wire. I done scratched that coil all up. Figure for $55, dang, paint would be better than that. All right, well, I just got off night shift. Oh, and had some guys on Facebook in the Flathead Forever group tell me to take a look at that ballast resistor. Well, I don't know if that's a ballast resistor. I don't know what it is. It's a resistor. Take a look at that resistor and land both them wires on the same terminal. So bypass the resistor. Because the original coil was designed to operate at 4.5 volts. And this new coil takes, a regular coil takes 6 volts or whatever, and so I'm running it through the ballast resistor. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. Get rid of the ballast resistor. That's what I'm fixing to do. I'm finna get rid of the ballast resistor. I went ahead and drilled out the condenser bolt hole. This is supposed to be a run ready kit, and it came the way it came. This condenser was not, I kind of like that. Kind of let it sit on that washer. The way it came, this condenser was not gonna bolt up because the holes was too small. And there's you can't see it now, but there's a little tit sticking out of the top of this plate that looks like it might be for one of them 2 outside holes. Looks like it would go perfect if the hole in the condenser was big enough. So anyway, had to modify some of what I'm sure is Chinese. And that aggravates the crap out of me. How do I want to do this? I want it to be as out of the way as possible. Oh, I hate wiring. I see that kind of crap right there. I guess my big old hands are in the way. You couldn't see that. Hell, I can barely see it. Why is it being such a pain? In the donkey. Hey man, I think we're on to something right there. All right. I'm going to revisit this wiring on that coil anyway, but let's see if we got some good blue spark from that dude. Flip my ignition on. At this point, as fed up as I am with this car, I'd be okay with it absolutely lighting my tail up right now. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. We are getting somewhere. All right. Do that again. Oh yeah, this is it. We are fixing to bump this sucker over. We're gonna hook these plug wires back up and readjust my coil and my wiring and whatnot. And I'm fixing to get some gas in this dude. Well, I thought I had my phone on record, but it was not on record. There ain't nothing to look at in there. Car's running. Anybody wants to know, car's running. Got a little bit of flow by. I'm hoping that cleans up. Something out of the intake. No, never dealt with a V8, early V8. Don't know if that's common or not. But got a little valve train kick, but anyway, I'm gonna shut her off and go to changing oil and things of that nature. This is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, I must have had something real squirrely going on inside that distributor housing, because I just hooked up my original coil, and you hear it. I unhooked all this bullshit. It's a nice setup, I guess, but whatever. I'm not all that impressed. That's awesome, because I kind of want to keep the car as original as possible. If I'm going to change it up and update it any, I'm just going to go ahead and do the full swing 12-volt conversion. Put a craft style distributor on it or whatever, you know, throw some resistors on everything, change the headlights out, bulbs out or whatever. But that is awesome. I mean, 6-volt positive ground. Listen to that. People say what they want to about positive ground, but a good hot battery, some clean grounds, and pretty much perfection. I got 3 Model A's, and they're all 6-volt positive ground, and never had an issue with them. I mean, had issues with them, but there were problems, you know, you fix the problems and the issue goes away. Anyway, I got to quit messing with it. I got to do the dirty work. I got to get under there, drain that oil, get some water in it, get a belt on it, get a generator on it, set up a fan in front of it, maybe let it run 30 minutes or so idling. Then I'm gonna drain the oil back out of it, pull the plugs out, check compression again, see if these rings have seated up any with the heat, you know, I don't know. I'm praying, because this one here was really low, 45 pounds. The rest of them were 75 to 80, so that ain't no better. Well, I guess it's technically better, but not great, so. And I got some funky stuff going on with my linkage here. I gotta play with that. That's a carburetor I bought at Petty Jean the other day for 60 bucks, supposedly rebuilt, ready to go. Must have been, I didn't do nothing to it, just threw it on the car. Didn't even open it up, spray it out, do nothing. I just put it on the car. So. And my nurse tank sitting there leaking like a sieve. Brand new. Out the box, Chinesium. Anyway. Awesome. Just awesome. Putting my big and not so littles on it. That's a different size. It's like 7/8. Gum painted lugs make it a little bit tougher to get them off. That ain't a different size. Look at that lug busted. All messed up. So I scored this set of 35 wheels. Firestone, new tires, still got the little titties on them, as I like to say. Ornament. Petty Jean swap meet. Went to Petty Jean swap meet with grandfather, and we had already bought these cars, but hadn't went and got them yet. And we knew they had been sitting for years, so we knew we was gonna need tires. Didn't really realize that they had been sitting quite as long as that battery says they've been sitting. But anyway, we was riding around the golf cart, came across these sitting underneath the guy's tent. He had some Tri-5 Chevy stuff, some C10 stuff. He was into a little bit of everything. You could tell he was just kind of a parts trader. He might have some old cars at home or something. But anyway, he's just kind of a parts trader. So, 800 bucks, 616, 716s. If I had to go buy these, I would have bought 550 16s, 525 16s, something like that, to kind of give it a little bit more tire rate. I don't want to make a hot rod out of it, but I dang sure would like to get the stance a little better. I want to take a couple leaves out of that front leaf spring, because I don't know enough about what I'm doing to go start trying to do an axle drop and everything. This is too nice of a car to mess up like that, but I feel like some 16-inch wheels, a little bit wider, a little better ride, a little more sidewall. So I got a set of 33, 34 wheels and some dry rotted rollers. All State by Sears. Anyway, I'll probably sell them $300-400 bucks. I probably can't get that much for them. $200 to try to offset some of the money I got in these. How do you get these hubcaps off without scratching up? Yeah, every hubcap I pulled off, I took a little screwdriver and tap in behind there and pop it out. I made that scratch on every one of them. Anyway, let me get these on and professionally torqued. Now I got to round up another wheel, another red wheel, to swap that out so it looks right. I've got one right here. I'm actually very impressed with this oil. Hey, like my drain pan. I'm actually very impressed with this oil. That is like awesome. The antifreeze look great too. Pretty and green. Like my grandpa said, just pour that back in there, boy. Spend $20 a gallon on antifreeze. What you talking about? Wow, I'm so excited. Got the big old 700s in the back, 600s in the front. Finna run through here, pull all these plugs out, gap them, clean them up, make sure. Anyway, and I'm probably gonna try to do a compression test on it. Well, since it has ran just a little bit, maybe them, you know, maybe them rings have seated a little better. Maybe my valve seats are cleaned out a little better. Maybe I'll, hoping my compression came up. Wasn't really impressed with compression. But boy, it cranks easy. Fire, just bam, fires up, you know. There's a car show for the 4th of July, Friday. And this is Wednesday morning. Wonder if I could have this sucker spit shined and polished. Alright, so plug checking time. I didn't gap these. This is straight out the box. Straight in the car. After soaking it with Marvels and automatic transmission fluid. This was my bad hole. This is the hole that shot so much crap out of it. 45 pounds of compression. So there's a little bit of trash on it, but that valve seat cleaned up a little bit. I am gonna buff these real quick with a wire brush and gap them. I think 25 thousandths. I'm gonna verify that real quick before I do it. I'm gonna shove them back in there. No, I'm gonna do a compression test first. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dump some oil in it. It's got no oil in it. I can't forget that. I need to change the transmission fluid. I need to change the rear end oil. I gotta watch my son here soon. Gotta watch my other son, make sure they don't drown in a pool. Got a lot to do. So I've came down this one side here. 80, 75, 80, 25. It's worse now than it was when I started. That is not cool. I do not want to pull the head off this thing. I mean, I'm learning so much already, I might as well. I need some flash. I need a light. Let's see here. See if both these valves is opening and closing. I don't know. Valves is opening and closing, looks like to me. Necessity is the mother of all invention, is what I've been told. I ordered a fuel pump rebuild kit. It hadn't came in yet. I said, well, let me just try it and see. If it pours fuel everywhere, I'll back up and do something like this. But anyway, I let it sit here and idle. Never did get any fuel out. I put air on the tank, a little bit. Anyway, blew the fuel line out. Went to take it off the pump to blow it out, and the cotton woven line just broke in half when and I ain't got enough fitness to make up another little short pigtail to go over there to it. And I could probably cut zip ties and undo them clamps and get it over there to the pump. I really don't want to do that because it looks nice out of the way there. So, it's fixing to get drove like this though. Yeah, I went ahead and swapped them tires on it. We can swap them back if you don't like it. Huh? I said, we can swap them back if you don't like it.
Somebody's running?
Yeah.
I got my ears in, but I can't hear it.
That's your windshield wiper controls. They don't like goosing it too much with this gravity feed system. That big old 2-barrel really drinks some fuel. First test run didn't go that well. I think we got a fuel problem. I've been driving it off the gravity tank back and forth to my house, to the mama, all over the place. But either I got a really big slug of trash, or I don't know. gonna go through the motions, check all the fuel. What you think about it? Huh?
Well, we are down and brought that damn truck down here.
Oh, that wrecker? You talking about that wrecker?
Yeah.
Alright, so here we are. Had a lot of work to get where we're at, sitting there idling. Even on top of that, the battery was dead. Had to jump it off. Old battery, and put my new battery I had to buy for it in another truck. It has been, I've been pretty lucky. The whole car, no stuck valves, motor busted over pretty easy. Put a good carb on it, fired right off. Still fighting some fuel pump issues, I feel like. Got an early obsolete style, like a 1 year, maybe 8-month production run, like 33, 34. Fuel pump, it's got some odd check valves in it. There's a couple people you could send them to and have them machined out and take the new style check valves that come in the rebuild kits we can get. I don't know if I'm gonna mess with that or not. I'm gonna see. I'm probably just gonna stick another fuel pump on it, see if it kind of cures my problem. I got a little bit of a stutter every now and then when you really crowd it, really get into it. But for the most part, kind of running rough right now. I don't know. We'll see. The next one on the agenda is this 35 coupe here. Seen it in the background of some of the videos and pictures that I've added in here. Same deal with it. Probably been sitting the same amount of time. Cool thing about it, it's got a 37 block in it. 21 studs with water pumps in the block. I think that was a 1 year only deal, 1937. So, kind of excited to get on it. I got it freed up. I don't know if I got any stuck valves. I just whirled it over about 3 revolutions with a battery and stopped. Soaked the heads, soaked some plug holes a little more, trying to maybe free up any valves if they were stuck. Let some seep down around that stem. But anyway, I don't know what I want to do with this one yet. If I want to try to go ahead and do the full 12-volt conversion all the way, or if I want to go with 6-volt positive ground, electronic ignition, helmet style distributor, relocated coil. That's my hang up. I don't want to relocate that coil. It looks goofy, you know. Having that coil hanging out there. I like it. I like that dome coil sitting down there. So anyway, let's see if we can tune on this thing a little bit and get it running a little better. I can smell it pretty rich. Oh man, perks of that flip out windshield. I put some cool Chinesium mirrors on it. Oh yeah, let me show you all that. That's the perfect speaker holder. Look there, slip that sucker right out of there. Wind her in. Grab my little flat. The AA wrecker has really come in handy throughout this whole process. Of course of what I'm looking for. It's right in there. Yeah, AA record full of American-made tools, all standard sizes. I got a few metric tools for when I get in the bind. Let's see if I can lean her out. This is the original 91 or 99, 991, whatever Holly. That was on it when we got it. I feel like it probably had a strong burr at birth. I'd really like some aluminum heads for it. So 21 stud, front water pump, aluminum heads, original Ford heads, that'd be awesome. It up. It'd be awesome if I could find those. Anyway, as I was saying, I got some cheesy Speedway Motors Chinese 4-inch drop mirrors. Can't see that right-hand lane, man. This is actually the coil and condenser off of the 35 I've got right there. I've got it over here now because it's a Ford triptych coil, not an aftermarket dome coil. So I gotta order me a gas line. Get rid of that garbage. I went round and round with my local ace on how to make that. It took me 30 minutes to describe to them that I wanted a female to a female, and anyway. I guess that's why they make the big bucks.